So, hello everybody, this panel is about animating and animation, mostly pony related. I will be talking about the whole process from idea to animation, lip sync, 20 principles of animations, some types of animations, also creativity kitchen, and some upcoming animation projects. I will be also showing you the workspace of Adobe Flash CS6. So, first of all, it really don't work like this. It takes a really long time to create animation, even a few seconds. So, from idea to animation, first thing you need is some idea. How many characters there will be, what it will be, and so on. Next thing, you must create some theme. It depends if it's only the small animation, you can do it on your own, or if it's really big for 1-2 hours, you need a really big team. For example, the Double Rainbow have a crew of 100 members. In this team you need the animators, scriptwriters, voice actors, directors, concept artists, storyboard artists, musicians, the audio specialists, and a lot of other people. Also, the animators can be divided into background animators, frame-by-frame animators, and a lot of other. Next, the scriptwriters must write outline and the next script. The outline is really rough idea of the story. It don't have any formatting, it's just plain text, mostly without any dialogues, without anything. The script yes, here. The script should have very good formatting. So, as you can see in the picture, it should have some fade-in, action. It's everything is divided on the page. Some also dialogues are usually in the middle. The character who said something, and there can be some description how it should be voice acted. So. Next is storyboard. I will show you one. Yes, this is how the storyboard should look. The most important things are the number of scenes, and you can also add some dialogue, action, and some pictures of it. Also, with the different color of pen is usually for actions like this one, or for camera zoom or pen or anything else. Next thing is Animatic, which is a really rough animation. It have only few frames for a minute, and it's usually hand drawn. Even if you are doing the vector animation in Flash, it's very good to have the graphics tablet and draw these animatics. You really don't need to know how to draw very good. For example, if it's pony in animatic, it's can be only the stick pony or anything like that. This is the animatic made by Zachary Rich, the director of Double Rain Boom. So as you can see, it's really rough. Usually don't have any music in it, and it's only for timing and for scale. And animating without this animatic is really hard, so I recommend do animatics. And this should be the, yes, this is the finish. And yes, this is made by Minty Root, formerly Player.exe, which made animation like Project Thundercloud, Project Thundercloud II, and Project Shadowbox. This is how it looks from rough animatic to completed animation. Here is added also puppet, but without any facial expressions. They are added only here. Yes, and there are in the end are added also background and other effects. Yes, and this is from his intro to his YouTube channel. He's also doing his animation with 3D background, and this is very good for comparison of animatic and animation. Thundercloud. Yes, Project Thundercloud II shadow box. These are only basic keyframes, it's really rough. So added some extra frames for Animatic and also glass shatters. More and more frames. Here is also the puppet. This green background is used for special effects added in Adobe After Effects or another software. Also I can play this, but not the wall. It's also the example of Animatic. It's from Stable Text Studios. Yes.
Evening, Velvet. How's things?
Oh, you know, same old, same old. Honestly, if I didn't have your wonderful murals to look forward to, these halls would have driven me bad long ago.
Oh, come on. My murals get admired for maybe a day. Then they just become part of the day.
Yes, this is the storyboard I showed you. And yeah, next. Facial expressions, which are usually done also in Animatics, are very, very important. It's really some... You can see in this GIF that only the simple movements of eye, mouth and nose can really make a good expression. Yes, the next is lip sync. It's the synchronization of mouth to voice the character is talking. So this is one of the sheets I am using with I am animating lip sync. It's very good to have near you when you are doing lip sync. You can see that this is the closed mouth for vowels, for other vowels. And also it's done for changeling mouth. And this is one I'm using for A, C, O and other. And this is the lip sync for the human. This takes a really long time to do lip sync in animation. For example, for Czequestria promo, it take me about 2 weeks to create the lip sync of Libusha, and it was only 1 minute long. And the 12 principles of animation. I will show you in one video. And yes. I will stop it after each principle and tell more about it.
The following has been paraphrased from The Illusion of Life by Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston. Squash and stretch. This action gives the illusion of weight and volume to a character as it moves.
So squash and stretch is really important, and you can use it in cartoons or anywhere else, but for example, if you are doing the realistic animation, if the character, for example, float from horse and he cannot squash and stretch very much, it would be really weird.
Anticipation prepares the audience for a major action the character is about to perform. Each major action is preceded with specific moves that anticipate for the audience what is about to happen.
So anticipation, it's about physics. For example, when you are throwing ball, you must bend over and take the arm back, and after that you can throw. You must do something before any other action. So.
Staging. It's the presentation of an idea so that it is clear. Straight ahead and pose to pose. Pose to pose is charted with key drawings done at intervals throughout the scene. Straight ahead animation starts at the first drawing and works drawing to the end of the scene.
So I will the straight ahead and pose to pose. I will show it here. For example, you want to animate something, this will be very simple. You can do this two ways. The straight ahead is that you only draw something, go to next frame and draw something more, and usually you will be using both. In some situations are better pose to pose, in other is better straight ahead. And pose to pose is actually when you draw something on, for example, on first frame, then go to 15 frame, draw something, then you go to next to 35th frame and draw something. And after, when you got these frames, which are keyframes, you actually start animating in betweens, between everything this.
Started with key drawing. Animation starts at the first drawing and works drawing to the end of the scene. Follow through and overlap. When the main body of the character stops, all other parts continue to catch up to the main mask. Nothing stops all at once. Slow in.
So, follow through and overlapping action, it's all about physics.
Jenom stojí u kamery a hlídáš, že se jí nikdo nedotkne, nebo co děláš?
And yeah, here it is. This is from the show actually, and you can see this principle. For example, on main, where pink by jump, the main goes higher than the head was before. It's all about physics, nothing hard.
Character stops, all other parts continue to catch up to the main mass. Nothing stops all at once. Slow in and slow out. As the action starts, we have more drawings near the starting pose, one or two in the middle, and more drawings near the next pose. Fewer drawings make the action faster, and more drawings make the action slower.
So, I will show you this here, the slow in and slow out. In Flash it's called ease. For example, I make a simple tween. Yes, so as you can see, it moved to constant speed, and here you can edit the ease. So if you set, for example, ease to -100, it will be slow and next start be faster, or you can change it. This is very good because the ease is on 0. It's not good for some realistic animation and not very animation and looks good with this.
Arcs. All actions, with few exceptions, follow an arc or slightly circular path. Arcs give animation a more natural action and better flow. Secondary action. It's an additional action in the scene used as a supplement of the main one in order to reinforce it and add more dimension. Typing.
The secondary action is also all about physics. When one object collides to another, it also moves or depends on material.
More drawings between poses slow and smooth the action. Fewer drawings make the action faster and crisper. Timing maintains the appearance of an object abiding by the laws of physics. Exaggeration. Remain true to reality, just presenting it in a wilder, more extreme form.
So exaggeration, of course, you can use it only in cartoons, not in realistic animation, because it would look really weird when the object will have another mass as normally.
Solid drawings. It means taking into account forms in three-dimensional space, giving them volume and weight. Appeal. It's a quality of charm, able to please the viewer's eyes. It's the charisma of the action.
So next is types of animations. The 2D, it can be digital, for example in Adobe Flash, Animatic Studio, Toonboom Studio, and it can also in Photoshop, but it's not very good for big animation. It can be vector and bitmap. I will be talking about this soon. Also, There can be the traditional animation, 2D animation, or mixed. And this is the difference between bitmaps and vectors. Most pictures you see are bitmaps, but vectors are mostly used for very big billboards or even for the animations. As you can see, bitmap is made of pixels, and vectors are made only with shapes, curves, strokes, some fills. The biggest advantage of vector is that they can be they are scalable without the loss of any quality. For example, if you zoom the bitmap, you see the pixels, but if you zoom the vector, you can zoom for infinite. And also the vector pictures are usually smaller. The files is smaller. For example, is SVG, is most used in Inkscape. AI is for Adobe Illustrator. PSD is the Photoshop file, but it can also contain the bitmaps and such things. And the FLA is the file of Flash, but it can contain a lot more things like music, bitmap, pictures, video, and everything. And bitmaps, the PNG, and other GIF. But PNG is special because it can also contain layers and also can contain vectors. For example, you can see the resolution of PNG have 1.5 megabytes and the SVG only 64 kilobytes. And this is the example of traditional animation, which is do only by pencil and then scan to computer. Uh, 3D animations, usually made in Maya, Max, Blender, in such animating programs. From these, I recommend Blender because it's free, and if you want something better, because Blender is very good for beginners, but if you want something better, there's very good software, Autodesk Maya. There's also the 2.5D 3/4 perspective or pseudo 3D. It's actually when the characters and also the backgrounds are 3D, but it's everything only in one plane, and it's the 2D plane. For example, this is the image from the game Train, and you can move only left, right. You can't go forward or something. Okay, the Creativity Kitchen is a group of amateur and also professional animators, vector artists, programmers, and a lot of other artists. Currently we have 73 members, and if you want to apply, we would be really like if you apply, you can do it in creativity-kitchen.com. Here is the apply form. You don't need to be an artist. There you can only fill the name, the Skype nick, and your email address. And also you can provide your portfolio if you have anything, but if you don't just tell that you want to learn how to animate, and we will do it. We have a lot of good people who are like to teach you something, and a lot of good tutorials. And this is how it sometimes looks on Skype when there's in one group 73 members. Yes. This is also how it looks after 2 weeks of holiday, 16,100 messages. It's really fun to go through all of them. Yes, and here are some projects we are working on. For example, Super Smash Ponies, I will be talking about them. The Spectre Studios are making the animation of Rainbow Factory by the fanfiction. The Dinky's Destiny, I will be also talking about this. The project Thundercloud. This is from the promo video for WebsCon, and also we are helping the Wingtime, who is the person who created the videos of Synthesia with some animation, and also the Panic Pop, the upcoming game, and a lot of more projects. Here's Dinky's Destiny. This was supposed to be the 3D and also 2D animations. The 2D should be the characters, like in the official show, but the background and the environment should be 3D, and it's also tell in your con guides. This is the making only of the 3D model of Kentrod. There's really a lot of work on this to do.
Do you cooperate with Legends of Equestria?
Sorry?
Do you work with Legends of Equestria too?
No.
Oh.
Oh. But a few days ago, the author of this told me that it will be only 2D animations. Everything about story I can tell you is that it's about Dinky, the Derpy's daughter, and about Luna, and how the two are misunderstood by others. The casting to this project is still in progress. There's also the musician. The author of this, the animator, is also the writer, but he got the co-writer. The project is done a show style, but it's not meant to be show accurate. It will be much bigger and better than Project Thundercloud II, and the animation will be fully frame by frame in characters, so you won't see any twins. This is actually called tween when the computer generates all in-betweens. You only set the first frame and set the second frame, and it will do everything between it. But this upcoming animation, the Dinky's Destiny, will be only with frame-by-frame animation, so no twins in characters, only in background. In Dinky's Destiny will be already a fight scene and some stunning visuals and the full view of Kentrod, which will be even more complex than the one from the show. It's actually the spiritual sequel to Project Thundercloud, and there won't be derby. Even that there will be Dinky, their daughter. The story has a different vision than Project Underground, and it's inspired by the magical mystery cure. It's also a bit weird. It's inspired by Emmy Larson and Megan McCarthy's vision of the show. It's a vision with a lot of world building and events of an epic scale. The vision of two parts, something with an adventure and also something dark. It should be about 15 minutes long, and the first act, called the Lunar Revolution, should be released in early 2015. Here is also the concept art. This is from the flash of making the animatic for this. As you can see, here is the timer, which is very good when you are doing any animations. It will be done in a 16:9 aspect ratio, and yes, there will be also Princess Platinum. This was done before the decision of it will be only 2D. And also here are some puppets I received yesterday from the creator of this, and I can show them to you. So here is Nightmare Moon. This is called puppet. With this you can actually animate. As you can see, it have the full 360 degrees rotation. Even yes, it also have, for example, the wing cycle, also the blink, and some other things. Yes, also some other types of legs. It's not completed.
What about the tail and mane?
Sorry?
What about the tail and mane?
Oh, this main?
Yeah.
Yes, the creator of this want to do it by his own style. Don't want to make it like a show. I don't know why, but this is how it will look like in Dinky's Destiny, and also it's this is the show like, and here is the puppet for Dinky. Actually, some assets mane, tail, and this voice only sketch. It will be edited later.
What?
Yes, the eyes a little bit weird, but so it's only the mask. So you can move the eye, the pupil, and such other things. Oh, notice? Oh. Okay. Yes, here are, for example, no, this is not completed.
Why do you piece an article?
This is only the puppet, and the template of puppet is also with the horn and the wings. The animator, when the animator decides what the character will be, he will simply remove the horn or other things. But the puppets are always made as alicorns. Yeah, here you can see that this is ready for animation. The wing have a lot of position there. Yes, there is also some flapping, faster, slower, and hummingbird. Some. Yes. This is the same one. This is for Luna. As you can see, here's something that isn't in the show. The mane is still in one position. In the show, it's still like this. If the show, the Luna is on the other side, the mane is still before her head, not like here. It's a little bit different from the show. And here is also the mare puppet base. These black rectangles are for cutie marks, so you only replace it with cutie mark you want. And in this puppet it's great that there is also the preparation for lip sync, some other mouth shapes. So you don't need to draw anything with these puppets, you only animate. So, another project I will be talking about is Super Smash Ponies. Yes, here it is. It's Super Smash Ponies is actually the game inspired by Super Smash Bros. By Nintendo. It's done in Game Maker because it's really fast. And yes, some video from it.
What's going on?
Yes.
Why are they closed? So strange. Oh, Dinky,
What do you call an alligator wearing a vest? An investigator. Whoa!
Yes.
Detective Butler coming at you with an update on Super Smash Ponies. I want you to be aware of what's going on, so I'm going to be doing these Pod You Pony update videos on a semi-regular basis and take you behind the scenes on Super Smash Ponies. I want to cover some bullet points here. What Super Smash Ponies is and isn't, why we've regressed a bit in progress, why that regression was actually a giant step forward, and a release date. Super Smash Ponies was started by a fellow named Sylvan and passed on to the co-founder Nell after Sylvan became wrapped up in college. Before Sylvan left, he progressed through multiple rewrites of the code. At the beginning of the year, he completed one final rewrite, regressing the project back to the basic fighting system you see here. While this may look counterproductive, it provided us with a very solid framework to extend from. Instead of coding each and every character from scratch, we can now code once and forget. That means ranged attacks, for example, could be coded for one character and then reused in a totally different fashion for another character without the copy pasta. Super Smash Ponies does not look to emulate Super Smash Bros., but is more of a spiritual parody of the original. And at 2 years, we can understand why even the most die-hard fans believe we've given up the ghost. Fans that have been hanging in there since the beginning would probably like to know why we did another rewrite. 2 words, spaghetti code. Tons of code was functional, but in a manner that sometimes left us trying to figure out how the game was still working at all. Zilbra made the decision. To progress with future development, we needed a new plan, a dynamic way to integrate assets from the entire team without copying and pasting redundant code. So came about the big rewrite. We've almost caught back up to where we were. In fact, development will be multitudes faster than before. Speaking of which, land ahoy, there'll be trees on the horizon. I'm proud to announce the project release date. That's right, January 1st, the beginning of next year, 2015, you will have a fresh copy of Super Smash Ponies in your hand. Stay tuned for more update.
So, some other information, there will be also the Celestia and Luna, and in the place of Master and Crazy Hand, there will be 21 characters and more than 10 stages. It will also support the gamepads. There will be the online multiplayer. As in the video was told, the release date is in January 1st. There will be also final smashes. And there will be also the mega version of this game. And of course it will be free for all to download and play, but the source files won't be released. Yeah, the next is Panic Pop. It's a combat-heavy platformer game inspired by games like Metal Slug, Fairy Bloom, Frisia, Mega Man Zero with absurd QTC style inspired by Parodius, Twinbee or the Rayman. I will read the story. So the story takes place several years after Twilight reformed Nightmare Moon and began her studies of friendship on the day of Twilight's 27th birthday. She is on vacation in the Saudi Arabia desert with Spike, Shining Armor, and Cadence. Trying to find directions to their hotel, they stop in the nearby village where Spike finds an incredible futuristic looking soda vending machine. He is captivated by the machine's built-in game that promises a free drink if you manage to get a high score, which he managed to do, and the machine opens up to reveal that it's actually a spaceship in disguise. I didn't create this story. Spike enters in with curiosity and with the rest of the group realizes where the one decide to enter the spaceship to understand what is going on and get him out of there. But too late, as soon after they enter the slug and they are launched into the space to planet that seems to be covered in soda. They discovered that they were lured in the save an alien race of living soda cans called Fizzies from other nearby alien planets that want to harvest the planet's very lucrative natural resources and even their own bodies' natural resources. Here are some concept arts. As you can see, this is, for example, the Cadence.
So they are humanized.
Yes, it's humanized, but the better style than the Equestria girls.
Every style is better than Equestria girls.
And with the Spike and soda. This is the Shining Armor Jeep. Yes, it's actually the Jeep, but great. Here is also the puppet of Shining Armor, some other concept arts. This is also another concept art of Shining Armor, the Spike. It's better than the dog in Equestria Girls. And this is from the Unity, where it will be created. The animations are 2D, but the background and all the environment is 3D.
That's creepy.
Really?
Yes.
Who is it?
Twilight.
Oh.
And here is colored. This is the concept art for one animation, for the jump animation of Twilight.
She's so naked.
Yes.
She looks like a Jasmine from
Oh yes, this is the animation actually the work cycle. As you can see, here is the work cycle drawn by pencil and then apply the puppet on it. It's not completed yet. Yes, and the last thing, because the time is running, the last thing I have prepared is differences between puppets for animating. So, this is the double rainbow puppet. There's really a lot of these puppets. I have the collection with nearly 200 puppets with different ponies. This is from the Journey of the Spark upcoming project, and these are the official DHX puppets. You can see some differences between them. I really don't recommend use these double rainbow puppets. Yes, this is the double rainbow puppet. The main disadvantage is that there is only the front view, the 3/4 view, and the profile view. And for example, the other this is from the last stand of Harmony animation. These puppets are free to use as well as double rainbow ones, but these are made from the official DHX puppets, and is a lot of more angles and views, and it's also don't have some unnecessary and creepy shapes. I really don't think that you will use this in animation, and it's also, on the internet you can download the official DHX puppets, but they are illegal to use and distribute, but you can still find some animators doing it. For example, this is from the show, and you can see that there is some type of bump in the eye, and if you are creating your puppet by the official, you really don't copy this mistake which is here from the season 1. But as you can see, this is the promo for Nightfall Studios, and as you can see there is also the thing in the eye, the mistake. So actually it's illegal to use, but some people still do it. I don't know why, because the last end of Harmony puppets are free to use and are as good as the official DHX puppets. This is also from Double Rainbow, but this is from Double Rainbow, but these are too illegal to use because as I know, these are legs are very bad. And these are copied from DHX some assets as mouse. Is copied from official DHX puppets, and the Double Rainbow animation have a big problem with these when they have to send all source files to Hasbro to control if there isn't any others assets which aren't legal to use. This is why you don't see any stallions in the Double Rainbow. And
Could you show the movie again? Please.
sorry,
Could you show the movie again?
which one?
Which movie?
Ah, yeah. Nothing.
This is the comparison between the puppets from Dinky's Destiny and the Double Rainbow Philly puppet. This is the new Dinky's Destiny puppet, and this is the Double Rainbow. But here are some great numbers. As you can see, in Dinky's Destiny it have only 54 symbols, but the Double Rainbow have 460. It's really insane because the puppet from the Dinky's Destiny is actually larger and have more angles. The file size, you can see also the non-effective use of Double Rainbow puppets will have the more than twice file size than the Dinky's Destiny, and here it is the angles of views. Double Rainbow have only 5 if you already include mirroring, and Dinky's Destiny have 18, so it's really better to animating with them. I was talking about the Luna's main, which actually wasn't mirroring, and this is how the non-mirroring main looks like with vinyl scratch. In a show, you will see only this, only one side of it, and the main is only copied to other, but it's not very natural. This is how it should look like, but the show doesn't do it because in some angles the eyes won't be visible, and so. Okay, the time is running, and I think this is the end of the presentation. Do you have some questions? Okay, so thank you for patience and enjoy Czequestria.